Today we are looking at volumes of spheres. So a sphere is the set of points in space that are all a given distance from the center, or the set of points that are all the same distance from that center point. So it's kind of just like a ball, perfectly round. And going from here out to the edge, that's r, or our radius. So the volume of a sphere is going to be 4/3 pi times the radius cubed. So remember, we have that scientific calculator in that top module in Canvas. Use that N over D button for 4/3. Okay, so in this guy, remember volume is 4/3 pi times the radius cubed. Here our radius is 12. So we've got 4/3 pi times 12 cubed. To do a cubed in your calculator, after you type in the 12, you're going to put in the caret button. It's right next to your 7. It'll put it up as an exponent, and then you'll type in a 3. After you put that into your calculator, you're going to end up with 2,304 pi, and that'll be centimeters cubed. That's a big number. It sure is. Okay, on this next one, this time all the way across is 18. So that means just our radius here will be half of that, or 9. So volume is 4/3 pi times our radius cubed, and our radius here is 9. When you put that into your calculator, you're going to end up with 972 pi. And that'll be centimeters cubed. In the next one, we have half of a sphere. A half sphere is called a hemisphere. So like we live in the northern hemisphere because we're on the top half of that globe. So when we're finding our volume, we're just going to put another 1/2 in front of that 4/3 pi r cubed. So we've got 1/2 times 4/3 pi times 3 cubed there for the radius. And when we put that guy into our calculator, we're going to end up with 18 pi. That'll be centimeters cubed. All right. So in this guy, we have another one of those hemispheres, right? We have half of a sphere up here on top. So we're going to have 1/2 times that 4/3 pi r cubed. We can see here that our radius is 4. So we've got 1/2 times 4/3 pi times 4 cubed. So that top piece is going to end up being 128 pi over 3, or pretty much 134 if you turn that into a decimal. Down here on the bottom, we have a cylinder. We find the volume of a cylinder by taking pi times the radius squared times the height. Once again, our radius here is going to be 4, and the height of this cylinder here is 5. When we put pi times 4 squared times 5 into our calculator, we'll get 80 pi. And then if you turn that into a decimal, you're going to get 251.3. So then for our total volume, oopsies, that's an A. You would have to add these guys together. So the gross one he's going to end up being 386 pi over 3, which is gross. Or, and I very much encourage this or, it's going to end up being 385.3. That'll be cubic meters. That's the answer that I would go with. Okay. Now we want to find the radius of a sphere if find the radius if the sphere has a volume of 972 pi. So we know volume of a sphere is 4/3 pi times the radius cubed. Okay, so 972 is going to go in for that volume. So we got 972 pi here. Oopsies. So the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of that pi. We're going to divide by pi on both sides. So we get 972 equals 4/3 r cubed. Now we need to divide both sides by 4/3. So when we do that, we're going to get 729 equals r cubed. Now, to get rid of a square root, to get rid of a squared, we take the square root, right? So to get rid of a cubed, we're going to take the cubed root. So if you press second and then the caret button, so that button right above your square root, it has a little x and then a root, it looks like this. Type 3 first, then second this guy, and then type in 729 and press enter. That will take the cubed root, oopsies, of 729. And then when you pop that into your calculator, you'll get 9 for that radius. Okay, so Gomer's back and he's lifting weights. He found a spherical lead alloy weight with a radius of 3 inches that weighs 20 pounds. So 20 pounder has a radius of 3. He wants to lift 100 pounds. So he's like, all right, if I want to lift 5 times the weight, I'll just make 5 times the radius. Let's say the radius is going to be 15. Why is he in intensive care? Well, let's compare these two weights. So the volume of the 20-pound weight, we got 4/3 pi times 3 cubed. And when we put that into our calculator, we're going to get 36 pi. All right, so that is 20 pounds. Now, if we have a radius of 15, let's check this guy out. So 4/3 pi times 15 cubed. All right, when we put this into our calculator, we're going to get 4,500 pi. Is that going to weigh 100? Is that just going to be 5 times as much as the other one? No, not at all. That is going to be way more than 100. So, all right, sounds good, guys. See you guys later.